we've got Kobe versus Jordan debated by Dwight Howard and Gilbert Arenas. So Dwight Howard was sort of defending Kobe Bryant and saying he thinks Kobe's better than MJ, and Gilbert Arenas seems to disagree. I I've got to agree with Gilbert in this one. No chill, Gil. I think he's actually got a valid take in this case. I really don't think you could say Kobe's better than MJ in terms of anything. To be honest, MJ was probably more skilled, a far better athlete. Dwight Howard says he thinks Kobe was better than MJ skill wise, and he took everything Jordan did and multiplied it. He did it better. I really have to disagree. I really have to disagree with this one because looking at a lot of Kobe's play, it would be pump fakes, spin moves. He's doing that because he's got himself in a position where he's heavily smothered. The defense is all over him, and he needs to do something tricky to get even a halfway open look. To be honest, he would hardly have open looks. He was just really good. Kobe was just amazing at being clutch and amazing at making bad shots. Shots that most players wouldn't even take because they're absolutely smothered. Kobe would take those shots and make it. MJ was a player who was incredibly smart, similar to Kobe, but was able to, he was bouncy, he was fast, not just bouncy and fast, he was the bounciest, the fastest in an era. Filled with a lot of dominant presence, defensively particularly. Kobe wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the most athletic, he wasn't the strongest. He did have that Mamba mentality, but that to me doesn't make you better than MJ. You know, um, and Anthony Edwards obviously previously made that comment that I made a video about a while ago, where he's saying nobody really had skill back in the day. And to be honest, I watched some of those games from back in the 90s, and these were obviously random games that I picked, comparing it to nowadays basketball. And I completely understand what Anthony Edwards is saying, because nobody really had a bag back then. Like, the closest thing to a bag you had would be, someone like Hakeem with a, nice post game. Jordan could face guys up, but Jordan would be fading away. That's the closest thing you really had to a bag. A lot of it was just, moving the ball around, passing. And, I mean, that's definitely a skill, and that's definitely technique, and that's definitely team play. But you take an average player from the 2020s and put them in the 1990s, and they're a superstar. I don't care what these guys say when they say, oh, this era's soft. These guys are 1,000,000% more talented than the average player in the 90s. You put someone who's probably not even in the league anymore, you put someone like Ben McLemore in the 90s, and he's capable of probably giving you a nice 15 to 20 a night. And in the league, when he was in it, he's probably given, I don't know what his averages were, 6-7 points. You put him in the 90s, he's doubling that. Just because of the gap in skill. He's got a guy who's a 3-level scorer in an era where there wasn't really any 3-level scorers. And if they were, like I'm saying, I'm comparing it to today's game to back then. If you were a 3-level scorer back then, you would come into the league today and you'd be a bum. So there is still levels to this. Of course, we know that Kobe famously idealized Jordan. We know this. Took a lot of his moves, but Jordan, if you're talking about a prime Michael Jordan, no one, in terms of Kobe, can't touch a prime Michael Jordan. If you're talking about a Jordan later on in his career, where he's relying a bit more on footwork and fadeaways and mid-range, then okay, then there's a conversation to be had. But if you're comparing prime Michael Jordan to prime Kobe, Michael Jordan blows him out of the water. Because like I said, Michael Jordan was the fastest, the bounciest. He was jumping from the free throw line and dunking. I don't think guys quite understand how crazy that is. Now, of course, Bryant has got a crazy resume. 5 championships, 2 NBA Finals MVPs, a league MVP, should probably have more than one MVP, but 2 scoring titles, 15 All-NBA selections, and 12 All-Defensive selections, and 18 All-Star games. Kobe's no one to be scoffed at. But in terms of him being better than in terms of being better than MJ, I'm not sure about that one, man. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna have to give the nod to to MJ for sure, for sure. I'd be super interested to know what you guys think, though. Do you think Jordan's better than Kobe, or do you think Kobe's better than MJ? Be super curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below.